Hello, everybody. We're here today to learn a new dance routine. It's called the Schimey Sham. I'll tell you all about it, but first I want to say one thing. I made a video yesterday about a call to the court clerks, the 7th Circuit court clerk's office, to inquire about what might happen, if the judges were going to be able to meet before Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. The court clerk said no, there was no way. It was a panel of judges that had to meet, and it was not likely for anything to happen within 2 days. But I don't know what to say. I guess either the clerk was misinformed, or knew, or just said whatever because they knew they didn't have to answer any questions. I don't know. Anyways, no matter what, it's a little bit kind of I don't know. Just makes me kind of wonder, it'd have been a much better thing to just say I don't know, or to say I'm sorry I can't say anything. But anyways, whatever it is. So I'm sorry everybody about that little thing there. So it turns out that obviously they were able to get something together, and they made their decision to go ahead and say no, that Brendan could not come out. But the thing that makes me wonder about all this is why? Why did they deny it? Because it doesn't make sense to me. There's nothing there to implicate Brendan. The confession's out. It's gone. The conviction is overturned. He's technically an innocent man right now. Technically. He has no criminal past. Not even now. There's not even the Teresa Hallback case, because, like I said, technically right now he's an innocent man. His conviction has been overturned. So the fact that he has such a spotless history, no run-ins with police really, other than the Teresa Hallback thing. In the prison, he is basically referred to being exceedingly benign, which basically means he's just keeping his head down and keeping his nose clean, and not causing any trouble for anybody. So what grounds is there to deny him getting out on bond? That, to me, is a little bit odd. But maybe there is some reason that the 7th Circuit Court has, and I hope it's not because they are like best buddies with Brad Schimel, or he's pouring money out of one of his dark groups to sway their opinions. I don't know. I sure hope it's not that. But I don't know. Maybe they have a really good reason. I think I heard somebody say about they didn't like the wording of the wording of how they worded the release terms for Brendan Dassey or something. So maybe they just have something that they want to add to it. I don't know, but hopefully that's what it's about. Maybe they're just halting it for a second because there's something maybe they want to have in place that they think is important. Let's hope. But I don't know that for sure. But anyways, let's get on to telling you about how the Schimey Sham works. First, you limp to the side like your legs is broken. No, I'm just kidding. No, what you do is you do nothing really, exactly nothing. You just sit back and watch your opponent file a motion to get their client released on bond, and you just sit there and you don't do anything, and you just wait. And then when the judge finally rules, and you don't like the way he rules, and you didn't actually give him your 2 cents, then you start getting all pissy and you start filing emergency motions all over the place and trying to act like you're the victim, and you basically cry and go wah, and then somehow the 7th Circuit Court went ahead and decided to stay the release of Brendan. So he essentially got what he wanted. Now I don't know. I'm waiting to see what the reason why the 7th Circuit Court did that for. Why they decided to put the stay. Hopefully it's just because they had further concerns that they wanted to address. Let's hope, because I really don't want to have to see Brendan sit there for the potentially long time that this could take, because it's not going to be like a case where they go and meet every day. It's going to be a thing where they meet for like one day each month and they argue the case for a day, and then they basically put a bookmark in it, and then another month later they come back for one day. It's kind of something like that, where it's not all just like boom, 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 boom. It depending on how long it takes to argue the case, it could take a significant amount of time. And it would suck if Brendan had to be in there the whole time as an innocent man waiting for this appeal to get worked out. So I don't know. It doesn't seem fair, but that's the Schimey Sham. That's how you do it. You just, sit back and do nothing and then cry foul when you don't like what happened. So I can't believe it myself. Like I said, I just hope the Seventh Circuit Court is just looking out for the interests of everybody involved, and I'm not going to try and come down too hard on them. I'm sure, because they got a rough job, I'm sure there's a lot of cases that they got to deal with, and this is just another one for them, So I can understand to a certain extent, so I'm not really too mad at them. But Brad Schimel, on the other hand, no. That guy knows what's up. He knows the score. And he is personally involved. He lives and works right there, in that area. So, and you got to know at this point that those confessions are beyond ridiculous. That Brendan is guessing. Everything he says is, I don't know. The funny thing that I noticed when I listen to the Brendan Dassey confessions is the way that he answers. He answers everything with a statement, but he phrases it as a question. Okay, he'll say things like, she went over there, or, things like that, where it's a statement, but he's like saying it like a question, because he's not sure if it's what they want to hear, and he doesn't know, and so, yeah. Everything's a guess with him. It's always, he's just guessing the whole time, and then whenever his guess is wrong, they just say, okay, Brendan, why are you lying to us? Or, come on, Brendan, tell the truth, or whatever. Then he spits out a different answer, and if that one is close to the narrative that they were working on, then they go with it. But if it's not, then it's like, why are you lying, Brendan? So, anyways. So to talk about Brad Schimel, and then also his buddy, Ken Kratz, they were both in a band when they were in college, and the band was called Alibi. Yeah. They were pretty good friends, obviously, and they hung out to get in to form a band together with some other lawyers from their school. They must have been pretty close. Well, let's see how old Kenny operated, and let's take a little look at something here. This is a document coming up. The first document is from a court document filed in the Stephen Avery case before trial. It's after December 6th, but it refers to something happening on December 6th, and that is the defense reporting that there was a vial of blood, that was at the Manitowoc County of the Clerk's office. So, and in this document, Ken Kratz claims that him and the prosecution knew nothing of it. Nobody involved knew anything about it on the prosecution side. Just keep that in mind. That means no investigators either, right? Okay. So here comes the document 1, and then it's going to be followed by a Ken Kratz email from February. It's going to be interesting. Watch. By motion on December 6th, 2006, the defendant notified the state of the existence of a vial of blood believed to be the blood of Stephen Avery in the possession of the Manitowoc County Clerk of Courts. The following week, the state and the defense met at the county courthouse and opened up a styrofoam box and observed a purple-topped vial of blood, which had the name Stephen Avery handwritten on it. At the latest, the defense was aware of the existence of the vial of blood on July 20th, 2006. The state believes that the defense knew of the existence much earlier because the defendant himself possessed such knowledge. The state was not aware of the potential existence of this extrinsic evidence of third-party misconduct. The state was not aware of it, he claims, right? Okay. And the defense revealed the existence of the vial of blood in correspondence dated December 6th, 2006. It should be noted that this was long after the state filed its discovery demand with the defense on February 1st of 2006. Equally noteworthy, yeah. So basically, Ken Kratz claims he had no knowledge of that blood vial. Him nor the prosecution, nobody knew about it at all. He claims there's no knowledge of it right there. So want to make that absolutely clear before we move into the next one here. Okay, so here we see an email from Ken Kratz sent Tuesday, February 7th of 2006 at 1:16 p.m. to Sherry Culhane. Yeah, there you see it. Regarding the Stephen Avery case. Now, if you look down at the bottom there, final paragraph down at the bottom there, Mark Wiegert is checking on the 1985 Manitowoc blood sample taken to make sure what it is, so you can test that sample, so you tested that sample back then. How bizarre is that? Were you also the analyst that got him out of prison in 2003? Ken Kratz is just like, I mean, his level of evil, I mean, or lack of morals or whatever, I mean, just shocks me, kind of. He openly lied in court, and there's proof, right? Okay, so there we see the Ken Kratz email to Sherry Culhane. Remember, helmet hair in court? Anyway, it's an email from Ken Kratz to her, and if you see at the bottom of that page, it clearly says, and the email is dated February 6th of 2006. It clearly says Mark Wiegert went over to the county clerk's office to check on the vial of blood and make sure of what it was. The prosecution didn't know, eh? Anyways, that's the way these guys operate. This is what they do. This is Ken Kratz and Schimel. This is just like a normal operating procedure for them. This is just the way that they do it. So, it's crazy, but just variations on the Schimey Sham. That's all it is. Just variations on it. So, anyways, it's kind of a bummer, but I truly think that these judges just had some concerns, and before anything was done, I think they wanted to be able to review it a bit before anything happened. So which is not a stupid thing to do. It's, they want to make sure, what they're dealing with as well. They don't want to just, make a decision, without having reviewed some of the facts in the case, obviously. So that makes sense. So I'm patient. I'll wait and see what they have to say. So I gotta imagine it's hard for them to side with Brad Schimel right now. I gotta imagine they gotta have some difficulty with that, because they probably have read Judge Duffin's ruling, and they have probably seen the same thing I saw, where Judge Duffin says the respondent said nothing. The respondent didn't decide, or didn't bother to send in an argument of why he should not be released. He basically says he got nothing from him. So I'm sure that Seventh Circuit Court is going to be looking at that and going, so he did nothing, and then suddenly when something happened, he just started filing emergency motions all over the place. So I got to imagine that's going to weigh on him. I gotta imagine they're gonna be like not too enchanted with that. You know what I mean? But because they had to like, this basically caused them to juggle things around so that they could meet real quick and look at this and at least put the stay so that they could have some time to review it, if that's what's happening, which I hope it is. They're probably not going to be too happy with him. They're going to probably be like, very, very disdainful, I would think, of that. Because I know the courts hate having their time wasted, and I imagine with this court it's even more. It's even more intensified. So, anyways, that's basically what I wanted to say today. I just wanted to point out some of this BS and the way that these peas of a pod, Ken Kratz and Brad Schimel, operate. It's no good. Mm-hmm. It's totally unacceptable, really. And I really hope the people of Wisconsin, I really wish they would really take an interest, really start picking up some of the files and start picking up the investigation report and start looking through this stuff and seeing what we all see, seeing all this just ridiculous things that, I mean, you can go look at any of my videos. Pretty much all of my videos feature the documents, and you can see in my videos where these just odd things are happening all over the place in this case. It's all over the place. It's not just like a few little things that happened that seemed a little odd. It's many things that happened all throughout the case, over the whole timeline of the case, that leave you shaking your head, just going, what could possibly explain that innocently? Yeah. And there's so many things, there's just no way that it's innocent. There's definitely some darkness there, and I really wish the people of Wisconsin would get on board with that, because honestly, the DNA is going to start to tell the truth here pretty soon, and the Wisconsin taxpayers are going to be on the hook for it all. And the longer that this all goes on, and the more it's perpetuated by your leaders, by your attorney general, by your governor, it's just going to boomerang back. And trust me, those two are going to skate away. They're going to skate away, dude. Prosecutors, they never get in trouble. When they get busted, they get a slap on the wrist. That's what happens. So Brad Schimel's going to, when this all, the spit hits the fan, as it were, Brad Schimel's going to end up probably going through a similar thing like Ken Kratz went through with his sexting and forceful sex on a domestic violence victim. Basically nothing happened. And that's basically same thing will pretty much happen with Brad Schimel too. Nothing will happen. He'll get off. No big deal. And you guys are going to be left holding the bag. Yeah. Think about that. Because it's significant. Take an interest in this case. Look at the documents. Make the judgment for yourself. Don't just listen to what the media is telling you there in Wisconsin. Because it's controlled by these guys. So, anyways, that's about the end of my video. So, that's my rant on Brad Schimel and his buddy Ken Kratz, and I hope you guys found it funny, or I hope you guys found it interesting. But yeah, that email dated February 6th of 2006, and then looking at that court motion where Ken Kratz claims that he nor anybody on the prosecution knew anything about that blood vial before December 6th. Liar, my friend. You are a liar, Ken Kratz. So, just like your fantasy that you created for your press conference, your little power sex fantasy thing that you basically claimed, and pinned on and projected onto Stephen and Brendan. Yeah, you got a very creative imagination there, but you're a liar. So anyways, anybody out there, if you haven't hit subscribe already, please do. And thank you very much for watching.